This is Demi Deck by Angelo Carbone, and it takes one of the most well-known stage illusions, sawing a person in half, and it brings it down to a pocket-sized miracle. Does this effect live up to its enormous hype? Get ready because we're about to find out. Let's do a quick performance of Demi Deck. Here I have a case, and we'll take this blade and set it down. Now watch this. If I were to ask my audience to think of a famous stage illusion, 9 times out of 10, they'd say sawing a person in half. So I'd say, let's do it with you then. We'll cut you in half. But no, not actually. Watch this. If we take a deck of cards, all different, they can just touch a card. Let's say this card, the Queen of Hearts. That's a perfect card for this trick, actually. We'll leave it there in the middle of the deck, and we'll push it in. So if I take that deck of cards and I place it inside this case, watch this. All I have to do is take this very sharp blade. It's very sharp. And I can actually start pushing it right into the deck of cards. You'll see it happen. In fact, I'll show you from this angle. I can push it right through the deck. And it's crazy, right? Because I can actually pull it and open it up. And you can see the other half of the deck. Now for the big finish, I'm going to pull out, without even looking, pull out one half card, your Queen of Hearts. We'll place that back into the deck. I'll take this, close it up, and put it back there. And I'll take the blade out. Now, the thing is, with just a snap of the fingers, you'll see every single card is no longer in half. It's actually back to normal, and that is absolutely impossible because there was no switch at all. And as you can see, there's no, oh wait, sorry, I guess I put this in upside down. That's an easy fix though. Watch this. All I have to do is screw that card back to normal, and I can hand that out for examination. And then I can hand the deck out for examination. That's Demi Deck by Angelo Carbone. I hope you all enjoyed that performance of Demi Deck. If you did, make sure to subscribe because today I'm doing an unbiased magic review of the product. First of all, I'd like to thank Murphy's Magic for sending me this product to review for you guys. And all magic distributors or creators, if you'd like me to review your product, please contact me at bfanmail@gmail.com. I also do free magic monthly giveaways, and all you have to do to be eligible is hit that subscribe button. For the month of October, I'm giving away POW by Eric Casey and John Michael Hinton. And all you have to do to be eligible is make sure to subscribe with the bell notification on, comment down below your favorite card select, and like this video. Without further ado, let's get into the review of Demi Deck. What do you get for your $70 US from your favorite Murphy's Magic dealer? You will get this very nice cardboard box. It's a hard shell, and inside you will get a few things. Firstly, and first and foremost, you'll get your main Demi Deck unit. This is what it looks like. A deck of cards isn't included. You'll have to provide your own, but we'll talk about that a little later. This is very cleverly designed to do the effect, which we'll again talk about very soon. And besides this Demi Deck case, you will also receive this blade. It's also very nice. I believe it's metal. It's not too sharp, not very dull. It's somewhere in between. And finally, you will receive this card, or 2 cards, 2 mismade Queens of Hearts. They're red, made in back design. And also, you'll get a tutorial link to the over an hour long tutorial, which we will also talk about shortly. And it's downloadable and streamable. First of all, what is the quality of the Gimmick? Now, this has been a very prominent and frequently asked question in the discussions of this product on the Magic Cafe. The main Demi Deck Gimmick, this, is made very, very well. It's very sturdy, it's been meticulously designed, and the concept was initially created by Angelo a whopping 17 years ago. I know, there have been many prototypes to test if the idea worked. And to begin with, Angelo created his first prototype, his first version. He built it out of a card box, and it worked. So he decided to pursue this. First, Tenyo made a version. Tenyo's version was nice. It was made out of wood. It was a light brown wood. But then he went to Colin Rose, who made his version of the Demi Deck. His version was good. However, unfortunately, Colin could foresee this being very popular. but he couldn't mass produce it. So Angelo went to Murphy's Magic, who created this. This is the final prototype for Demi Deck, and I think it's the best, and it looks the least gimmicky of all the prototypes, in my opinion, because Angelo did an amazing job with the designing of this gimmick. He did an amazing job adding all the features and all the subtleties to make this a dream to perform with and to minimize all of the discrepancies. And it'll allow you to do this amazing effect. The thing is, for mine, the leather was a little bit misaligned for the strap. And in my opinion, the thing that the blade pushes down on inside is a little bit flimsy. But it should last you a very long time as long as you take care of it. One other thing is the blade is a little loose, which is expected because these things are being mass produced. It may come eventually unglued, so you may have to add your own glue and stick it back together, but that's very easy to do. It shouldn't take too much effort. It's not too much of a nuisance for me. The Demi Deck has a ton of different features that make this work really well. You can use almost any deck of cards. You do have to provide your own, and you can use a red bicycle, blue bicycle, and any different back design. However, I don't think you'll want to use a gilded deck or a colored edge deck, which I'm sure not many magicians do use when performing, but I just thought I'd let you know in case you do perform with something like a gilded vertical deck of playing cards, or some other jellyfish playing cards from Penguin Magic, or any of those decks. But pretty much any deck works. Now, the thing is, the mismade cards are also good quality, but they are in made and back design, which is very similar to red bicycle rider back, and I'm sure nobody will notice the difference if you're just adding the mismade cards to a regular red bicycle back deck. However, if you want it to be absolutely perfect with no discrepancies, which again, I don't think anyone would see, maybe you should use a made and backed marked deck of cards, which I already use when performing. I use Penguin Magic's marked made and backs. Now, how is the tutorial? The tutorial is great. It's over an hour long. It begins with Angelo Carbone introducing Demi Deck and showing some prototypes. It's been worked on for almost 17 years. He shows you what you get in the box, and the gimmick Angelo is showing you is a little different from what you get, and for that reason, Javier Fuenmayer jumps in, and he shows you what you receive, including some gimmicked cards. You can hear and see him well. Javier goes back and forth with Angelo. It goes from Javier, who's in the Murphy's Magic studio, back to Angelo, who appears to be on a couch or something like that, teaching you everything you need to know. And then the first routine Angelo teaches is the routine I showed you without the mismade card. It's just pushing the blade inside the box, showing it, and restoring the deck. That is best performed straight on or having people in front of you, but the angles are not bad at all. But for people worrying about the angles, Angelo then teaches you his second variation, which is way more angle friendly, and it doesn't use a blade. It's slightly more advanced and difficult to do, but I think it's worth putting in the time and practice to learn that handling. That is a combination of the second handling and the mismade card handling, which is taught later on in the tutorial, is what I'm going to use. I'm going to do the second handling to maximize the angles and combine it with the mismade card. That, I think, is the go-to with this effect. That's the effect you'll want to perform because it maximizes, as I said, on angles and maximizes on the power of this effect. Then Angelo will teach a third handling, which is a bit of a combination of the first two variations. And then after that, he'll teach you a trick called Saw a Card. It's a routine where their card is the only card cut in half in the deck of cards, and it's a very nice idea. After that, the video goes to Javier Fuenmayer, who will teach you how to do the mismade card after doing a live performance of it. He teaches you everything you need to know. As I said, great audio, great video. And then he teaches you how to make your own DIY thing that you have to do. You will have to provide your own cut card. So Javier will teach you how to do that. You just need to provide a red-backed Queen of Hearts, and you just cut it in half, and that's all you have to do. Then David Regal hops in and he gives a couple of cool presentational ideas. Then there's another segment where Javier will give you some additional handlings as well as something that would work great for social media. Now, are there any clothing restrictions with Demi Deck? With Demi Deck, you won't have to wear any specific type of clothing. You can wear a long sleeve shirt, a short sleeve, a suit, or literally anything. However, if you are wearing a darker top, that will help you out significantly because you'll be much less likely to flash the gimmick from certain angles. And that's why I typically, when performing, wear a dark suit, and that makes it a lot easier. I get a lot less stressed to flash accidentally because when you're doing that, there's a bit of a principle going on that is covered in the tutorial. What are the angles like with Demi Deck? Okay, so this is a very important topic. A lot of people on Magic forums have speculated that since this is such an impossible effect, it must have terrible angles. That's what most people have been saying. And if you think that this won't work well in the real world, I must say you're mistaken. This will absolutely work in the real world. The angles are not as bad as you will think based on the trailer. The angles vary from handling to handling, of course. For the handling I showed you guys in the performance, the angles are not bad at all. You will want people in front of you, but you can have people to the sides of you if you want, if you're covering it very well. The angles for that handling are about 120 degrees. However, Angelo, as I said, does teach a less angle-sensitive handling of the Demi Deck, but it does eliminate the blade. Are there any live performances in the tutorial? Yes, there is a studio performance on a spectator in the tutorial. Javier is performing the mismade card routine on a perfect person in the Murphy's Magic Studio. Is everything examinable? You can use any deck of cards, as I said, so that definitely is examinable, and it's definitely where most of the heat is after you perform the effect. Most people are going to think you have magnets in the deck of cards holding it together, which you can disprove by handing it out. I will say, for the mismade card performance, the deck can't be immediately handed out. You will have to cop out one card and quickly reset while they're examining the Queen of Hearts after you fix it. The box, though, is not examinable. This is not examinable. You can show it all the way around, but they can't actually hold it, or they will likely discover the method. But, as I said, most of the heat is on the deck of cards. So, the blade is examinable though. It is a normal blade, but you won't want them pulling it apart because I do think eventually the metal part may come out of the plastic part, in which you'll have to glue it back together. But just the deck of cards is examinable. I wish they could have included an ungimmicked box, but I really don't think much heat is on the box. But I'm sure there's going to be that one heckler who says, let me see that deck, and then let me see the box. I'm sure if I put the deck in the box, there's some secret contraption that lets, once the cards are in the box, the blade can go through. But yeah, I don't think they'll want to examine the box too much, but if they do want to, you should just quickly pocket that box just so there's not really any heat at all. But that's why I think this would make a perfect opener, because an opener, you want to cement yourself as a reputable magician, and when you're opening it up, you can start this off with a conversation, talking about stage magic illusions and asking, if you were to think of a stage illusion, what would it be? Because 9 times out of 10, most people will say, sawing a person in half, and then you can go right into this after making the joke that you're going to saw them in half. So that's where I think I will definitely be using this as an opener. And then after that, the beauty is you're left with a regular deck, so you can go into any card trick you like. Now, let's talk about the difficulty and practicality of the effect. How hard is Demi Deck to do? I'd say that it's an intermediate to an advanced effect, because doing the actual movements is not hard at all. It's practicing the angles and knowing where the audience is, as well as the audience management, that is a little bit more difficult. That will take some practice. However, at first, the moves, getting Demi Deck down, will take some practice. I'd say if you do this for half an hour in front of a mirror, that would be great. However, you want to make sure you're practicing this well, because you only have one chance to perform this on friends and family. And if you flash because you haven't practiced this enough, that would just be so unfortunate. Because if you don't flash, this is a miracle. And I think you want to leave your audience with a good impression of the effect. So definitely, please, please, please take the time to practice this effect. It's also very practical because it does well in strolling environments, cocktail magic, walk around, and close up. It works best in crowds of 5 to 6 people watching, as I said, starting out, when you're starting a performance, opening it up. I think it would also be good for stage if you have a camera focused on you. Then you could do very crazy handlings of Demi Deck because you won't be afraid of people on this side watching because it's just a camera projected up on a big screen. Javier agrees with this because he was actually talking to, I believe, Danny Weiser, who gave him this idea. You could do some absolutely crazy displays of the cards, like the stuff seen in the trailer. You can do that on stage if there's just a camera focusing on you, and you can center your angles around that camera. And if you have really good control of your angles, this plays perfectly. And you can do crazy displays. I mean it. Go watch the trailer after this. Check it out. You'll see near the end, Javier's doing some crazy displays where you're showing it like this. You can see all around and it looks absolutely insane. Is there any DIY with this? If you want to do the mismade card handling, you will need to provide your own red queen of hearts and cut it in half with scissors. But that's all. It takes like 10 seconds. It's really easy. However, other than that, there's no DIY. How much pocket space is required for Demi Deck? The beauty of this is you can replace your regular tuck case with the Demi Deck case. It's definitely thicker. The Demi Deck case is definitely thicker than a regular box of cards. However, because you can replace the regular tuck case with the Demi Deck, it takes up very little pocket space. So that's very good. If you carry around a Gimmick tuck case like I do, then you'll have to carry the Demi Deck case separately, which is very unfortunate. But I think it's worth replacing your Gimmick tuck case with the Demi Deck tuck case. As for the blade, I like to keep the blade under the strap right here. I like to close the strap on top of the blade like that, and it holds there, it sticks there. And then you can just bring this out. Or you can keep the blade in a different pocket. It depends on whether or not you want to introduce and foreshadow to this effect before you perform it, or if you just want to bring out the blade later on so it's a surprise what you're doing. What is the reset like with Demi Deck? The reset is instant, and that's amazing. Now, let's see if the trailer and ad copy are honest. The trailer is very honest, but there are a couple of displays in it that Javier uses that are a lot more angle sensitive and wouldn't work as well in bigger crowds. However, I think they'd work great for social media, and Javier teaches you how to, again, do it on stage so the camera is picking up everything. Now, stage illusions are distinct from all other types of magic. This is the ad copy, by the way. They are larger-than-life exhibitions of our will to accomplish the impossible. But to maintain that illusion, the audience must view it at a considerable distance. Angelo Carbone's brilliant mind brings the grandest of stage illusions, cutting a person in half to the palm of your hand with Demi Deck. Imagine taking an ordinary deck of cards, putting it inside the case, and with a slice of the blade, you cut the deck in half, showing both ends. Then, with a few kind words, magically heal the deck back together. Use this as an opener in the middle of your set or a show-stopping closer. Use any normal deck of cards. Includes multiple routines. A magician fooler. It's easy to learn. There are no switches of any kind. It's completely self-contained. And after 17 years of perfecting the design, award-winning magician Angelo Carbone is finally ready to open the curtains and reveal his latest masterwork. Welcome to Demi Deck. That's the ad copy. That's pretty honest. There's nothing suspicious in there. It tells you everything you need to know. Now, what is the price of Demi Deck? Demi Deck costs $70 and it's available at all good magic dealers. It was brought out by Murphy's Magic. Is this worth the price? It is a little expensive, but I think that if you plan on using this regularly, which I could see a ton of magicians, including myself, doing, then it's probably worth the price. It all depends on whether or not you see yourself using this in your act. The only thing I wish they could have included would potentially be an ungimmicked Demi Deck case. I would have been willing to pay $10, $15 extra, because then you could really hand out everything and you end completely clean. And yeah, I think that would have made it nicer. Also, they could have maybe included a couple more mismade Queens of Hearts. What are the pros and cons with this? The pros are this is very well constructed. It comes ready to go out of the box. Sawing someone in half is a classic illusion, and this brings it down to a smaller scale. It's impossible. It fools magicians and laymen alike. It's a nice box, nice packaging. The angles are a lot better than everyone thinks. They're very good compared to a lot of other effects similar to this. The reset is instant. Now the cons. They could have maybe included a little bit of extra mismade cards. The blade may eventually come apart, but it's easy to fix. It's a little hard to open the door to show the second part of the deck. That's all right because Javier says they did this to prevent it from accidentally opening, but it is a little bit hard to get that open. Also, gilded decks or colored edge decks might not work for this. The box isn't examinable, but that's about it. What percent do I give this? Demi Deck gets a 90%. It's a worker, and it's one of the greatest in the hands versions of this well-known stage illusion of sawing someone in half. I hope this review helped you decide whether or not this is worth your money. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.